The first official day of fall has begun, and I want to talk about just exactly how we get our seasons and what we can typically see for the fall season across the Tennessee Valley. So first and foremost, Earth's tilt is what gives us the seasons that we see, the 4 seasons throughout an entire year. So Earth's axis is tilted about 23.5 degrees. So like I said, that's what's going to give us our seasons. So we are heading into the autumnal equinox, which is usually beginning around September 22nd through the 23rd. In our case, it's the 22nd. But then, of course, we'll have our winter solstice that will occur next, usually begins December 21st through the 22nd. And the Earth's axis is still tilted at about 23.5 degrees. So the autumnal equinox, September 22nd, is the beginning. Earth's axis is tilted neither toward nor away from the sun, and this is actually when we will experience equal amounts of daylight and darkness at all latitudes across the globe. So here's what the fall averages look like across the Tennessee Valley. The first day that we usually see a high temperature that's below 70 occurs somewhere around September the 26th. The first day that we'll usually see a high temperature below 60 usually occurs around October the 20th. Typically, we see our first frost and our first freeze in the first few days of November, and we'll see that first peak in fall foliage color around November the 8th. So we're talking about foliage. Let's talk about leaf science. Believe it or not, that is a thing. So how we see our leaves change colors throughout the season. First and foremost, it all starts with chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is the green pigment in leaves that helps trap the Earth's sunlight. That's creating food for the plants and the trees during the growing season. That's why our leaves are green, because chlorophyll is green. As the seasons transition from summer to fall, the sun angle lowers. Therefore, the intensity of the sunlight decreases. As the sunlight decreases, the cells form at the base of the leaf and they stop carrying the fluids. So that's why we start to see those leaves changing colors into the reds and browns that we typically see. So when the fluids stop, the sugar is trapped and a new color pigment is produced prior to the leaves falling. And once we see that change in colors, that's where we see that peak foliage. I want to step off the screen just for a little bit so you can just see all the different types of trees and their leaf colors. So oaks typically see red, brown colors, red maples about a scarlet color. All sorts of different trees gives off different types of leaves colors as we start to see that foliage occur across the United States. So here's the difference between colors and their seasons. So during the growing season, that's when we see the greens, the yellows, and the oranges present in the leaves, but the green is dominant due to that chlorophyll production. In the fall season, the chlorophyll production comes to a halt. The yellows and the oranges are revealed, as well as the red and purples. They're produced with more seasonable weather that we typically see. So as for moisture comparison, the dry moisture, that's where the leaf color change may be muted and delayed, whereas if we have a wet moisture impact, that leaf color change is going to be on time and it tends to be more vibrant here across the area. So temperature comparisons even have to do with how we typically see fall foliage. The warmer the temperatures, if we have abnormally warmer days, more clouds and warm nights, we're going to see those muted colors typically when foliage starts to occur. Now, if we have a cooler temperature impact, which is where we have seasonally warm days, more sunshine, the cooler, crisp nights, that's where we're going to see more vibrant colors occur during foliage as it occurs across the United States. So believe it or not, temperatures have a lot to do with leaf changing as well as the moisture content, and that's all you need to know about leaf science.